What's so important about the railroads in Black history is that it is by far, in American work history, the industry that employed Blacks the most.
It's history that's told in the paintings, prints, and photographs currently on display at the Barron and Ellin Gordan art galleries at ODU. Senior curator Ramona Austin escorted us through the visual narrative titled The Art of Trains.
Art can just explores so many things. What it explores in aesthetics and culture tells us a tremendous amount about who we are or who specific groups are. Black folks built the railroads in the South, the Southeast, which was the beginning of the railroads, exponentially increasing capital. And of course, slaves were significant capital, and they built the railroads, along with a few Irish. Those groups that were on the outside, the underside, the lower side of society, who were the ones who did this very hard and dangerous work, like the firemen, the linemen, but also some of the most interesting inventions that helped railroads to develop into what they are were invented by Black men. Air brakes and numerous other things that helped to further the development of rail.
One painting in the exhibition showcases the very first train, a vertical boiler called The Best Friend of Charleston.
The piece is most animated and really figures into the Black workers, the Black musicians who are behind the lead car and behind the tender where all the fuel was. It's really about commerce. It's really about getting the goods from one place to the other. So Black people figure very, very importantly in this.
Not only were African Americans key players in keeping the trains running by laying down the tracks and keeping the engine fueled, but the role of the Pullman porter was key. These men are captured in several of the works currently on display.
They earned very little wages. What they made by tips helped them to make a living wage, and they became the pillars of their community and the foundation of the Black middle class in this country. They were forced to buy their own uniforms. Their meals were taken out of this. Everything that they had to be furnished by them in order to do the job. And then they were treated with a great deal of disrespect. Everybody was called George.
Not only was the role of the railroad worker highlighted in paintings, but on the big screen and in music. In fact, several popular stories like The Legend of John Henry made their way into musical scores, like this version sung by Harry Belafonte.
When John Henry was a little baby, sitting on his daddy's knee, picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel, said, "Hammer be the death of me, Lord God, yes, hammer be the death of me."
He challenged a steam hammer with his own strength and his own hammer. And he beat the steam hammer, but he died in the process of doing it because it was such a physical exertion.
He drove so hard he broke his poor heart when he laid down his hammer and he died, Lord, Lord, laid down his hammer and he died.
The exhibition showcases some 64 works in all, the majority from the collection of Susan and David Good. Visitors will see works from both trained and untrained artists, each one capturing the important role that trains and people played in growing a nation. For Another View, I'm Lisa Godley.